I actually think that this could work out really well for the Knicks. I think this could be beneficial, and I think that this could, and there's a lot of checkpoints that things need to happen for this to come to fruition. But if Tom Thibodeau can manage this properly, I think it can make the Knicks a better team, and I'll tell you why. You know, I don't think this Knicks team's going to win a championship. I think anybody that listens to the fan or checks out social media, unfortunately, that's my opinion, and I fear that I'm going to be right. I don't believe in this team to win it all. By Jalen Brunson being out, and I don't think this is like, well, get a bag of ice out of Jalen Brunson's back in, 5 or 6 days. I think Jalen Brunson's going to be on ice for a while. Whether it's a grade 2 or a grade 3, I don't know. Grade 2 would be 3 to 6 weeks. Grade 3 would be 6 to 12. I don't think it's a grade 1, which is 1 to 2 weeks. Bottom line, I think Jalen's gone for a while. And because I believe that, and if that's true, I think this gives Tom Thibodeau a chance to change the dynamics of the team, empower Karl-Anthony Towns, who was absolutely awful last night, empower Mikal Bridges, who's been a little bit erratic and all over the map this year, literally change how they play, and trust that when Jalen Brunson comes back, provided he does come back, that his talent and his acumen will allow him to seamlessly transition into the new New York Knicks, who could actually win a championship.
I mean, look, if he were just more fresh and healthy going into the postseason, okay, I can understand that. Yep. I do think Karl-Anthony Towns has been empowered. He's their second best scorer, or their second best player, certainly, and at times he's been their best player this year. So I don't think he is going to have any more room now to operate without Jalen Brunson. I don't think he's been impacted by that. Bridges is an interesting thought. Here's the problem with Bridges. He's stunk this year. He stunk. So now the Knicks are going to have to rely on him. If that's what it takes, BT, then they did make a mistake getting Mikal Bridges. If it takes an injury to their superstar, Jalen Brunson, to allow Mikal Bridges to all of a sudden come in here and be the guy that the Knicks thought they were getting when they traded all the draft picks for him, then that's a big problem in itself. How does Bridges play 43 minutes and do nothing? He's doing nothing on the floor. Goodness gracious. Well, Karl-Anthony Towns, you said he was bad. Well, that's the idea of having a guy like Bridges, where if Brunson is doing his thing and then, really either Towns or Brunson, if one of those guys are not having a good night, insert Bridges. He's supposed to be that next option. I know they have other guys, Anunoby, Hart, whatever, but that's the point. Bridges is supposed to be that type of player. So, I mean, you want to look for a silver lining saying, well, now they're going to be forced to have Bridges take a greater role with Brunson out.
It's part of it.
I'm not sure he could do it, and nor should that be the case that you need Brunson to go down, because without Brunson, there's no point in having the conversation.
Oh, without Jalen Brunson, they lose in the first round. I mean, their offense will be completely disjointed, as it was the final 90 seconds without him. No Jalen Brunson, no chance. Right. Zero prayer. Just to be a little more specific with Karl-Anthony Towns, when I talk about empowering, Bridges is obvious.
Right.
More shots, more influence, more usage rate, more confidence.
You think, yeah, right.
Hopefully,
I'm
right?
with you on the confidence.
Okay.
Like, get him going here.
Yeah. And now, I don't mean like Karl-Anthony Towns is not getting enough shots or averaging, 17.2 points per game. No. Karl-Anthony Towns has been, along with Jalen, 1 and 1A, and some nights he's 1 and sometimes he's 1A, whatever. I'm talking about where the moment without Brunson, he steps on the court. There's 20 games to go. It is now fully dependent upon him to make quicker decisions, and then empower other teammates. And again, like that's a usage rate thing, but that matters. And Karl-Anthony Towns' world has been fairly easy because of Jalen Brunson's tremendous presence. It's going to become very complicated now. How does he respond to it? And I think how he responds to it very well could impact and should, but I don't know if it'll be positive. I hope so. Yeah. The rest of the roster. The other thing, too, is this. When I look at Jalen Brunson, I'm talking about two different things here, how this could be a good thing for the Knicks. The first one obvious, right? The other thing, we all know if Jalen Brunson's healthy and rested, Jalen Brunson is a cold killer. Nobody's here to dispute that. So with 20 games left, again, that's why I went. Is it a grade 1, a grade 2, grade? I don't know yet. I'm fearing it's at least a grade 2 and terrified it's a grade 3. And by the way, if it's a grade 3, his season very well might be done. Just so people, you're talking about possibly 3 months if it's a grade 3. If. But if it's a 2,
his season's done, then we're done talking about.
Then it's over. Then it's the Pistons. Somebody smacks him in the first round. They probably go from 3 to 4 because the Bucks are coming. Knicks are sliding. But the other thing that this does is, aside from giving more roles to the other players and Tom Thibodeau a chance to do things differently, Jalen Brunson can enter the postseason fresh as a daisy, man.
Yeah, that part I like. I'm not saying your thought process is insane, but it's just a lot to try to make more. It shouldn't have to come to the fact that you need Brunson out.
I agree with that.
And also, it's still a team that's trying to gel here. And how are you going to gel without your key cog, without the main piece? Are there benefits to having Bridges have more of a prominent role? Potentially, yes. See what he could do. Get him scoring the basketball more, attacking the rim, become the player that he was with the Nets when the Knicks traded for him, and maybe give him the confidence that when Brunson does come back, now Bridges feels, confident he could be more of an integral part. You could sell me on that mildly. I still don't think, though, that would outweigh hoping that this team can gel on its own with all the pieces intact. I like the idea of keeping them fresh, but that's also something that Tibbs could do on his own.
But he won't. So it's almost like you need
so think about what we're talking about.
Intervention from the injury gods to do it.
Think about what we're talking about. You'd not prefer, but you'd be okay with an injury to your star player because it would help get the player rest because of the maybe question marks at the head coach.
Basically protect him from his own coach.
Okay.
A little bit.
Or have him being out to give a more prominent role to get Mikal Bridges confidence.
I know. Oh, less than perfect. But that's why. Now, again, if my opinion was the exact opposite for basically all of this season, then if I said what I'm saying today, I'd be a complete fool because it would be a complete flip. I don't trust this team. I want to love this team, but I do love the Knicks. I don't believe this team's going to do anything this year. So at least it presents, is the operative, it presents potential opportunity to change.
Forces change.
Forces change. Here's the other thing, too, and I don't know if it's going to work, but so we all know Jalen Brunson's clutch value, whether it's threes and 1, and there's numbers to obviously quantify this inside of 2 minutes, inside of a minute, down 2, down 3, time game. Those things, he crushes those stats. So now he's gone. What happens? Knicks down a bucket, right? Knicks down a point. Next game, Clippers. Right? They're down a point, and everybody in the arena knows Cat's getting the rock. Whether it's a 3, a pick and roll, a little post up, depending upon the matchup, we know that Karl-Anthony, he's going to get the ball. And we've been disappointed with Bridges this year, and we've been disappointed with Josh Hart and some others this year. Now, what happens if the Knicks react to the double, maybe the triple, bangs it out to Bridges, and Bridges sticks a dagger at the horn?
Right.
What does that do for his confidence as you get to April, May, and maybe June? That's why I use the word empower.
Yeah, I guess my point is that he should be doing that on his own anyway.
But those are two. I agree with you, but those are two different things. I agree.
Right.
But maybe it takes something like this to change the dynamics of a team I don't think can win.
And if it takes... Now, I do think that they can win. I still need to see it and still need to see them gel, so that's why maybe I'm on the other side of this thing. But if it takes an injury to Brunson to maximize Bridges, then it was the wrong move because Brunson isn't going anywhere. He may be out for a few weeks, or even if he's out, knock on wood, but you hope that's not the case, out for the season. He's going to be back next year, and he's going to be the piece of this team. So the idea is whoever you bring in has to fit with him. Nobody should be better without Brunson. It's going to force some guys to sack up here. But,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, quickly before we get to the calls, I know Knicks fans want to jump in on this. I totally agree. But I trust Jalen Brunson's adaptability.
Right.
So when he does come back this year, next year, he's a brilliant. If he didn't have the mind and the work ethic, Jalen Brunson is not even he's not even playing at Villanova, let alone the NBA. That's why he's where he is. His aptitude, his tenacity, his instincts, and his work ethic, and obviously his jump shot at this point, and all his footwork, right? But he will see if this happens. If Tom Thibodeau can actually do this right, he will see a different set of teammates, and he will adjust. as long as those guys do their job, they could actually hit a higher level. They could.
BT and Sal on the Fan. Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Eric is in Rivervale, New Jersey. What's up, Eric?
BT and Sal, how we doing, guys?
Good. What's up?
What's up, buddy?
I love your take, BT. I was literally just having this conversation this morning, trying to find whatever kind of silver lining we could potentially from what seems like a pretty significant injury to Jalen. And, I was one of the poor souls last night that stayed up long enough to watch the end of that game.
Me too.
And it is just painful in these games sometimes because you know full well, like I have zero confidence that they're going to pull out this victory because unless Jalen is out of his mind and goes 40 plus, there's nobody else on that court that can compete at the level that they need to win the games
I don't
like
know if
this.
that's fair. Hold on, Eric, hold on. That's coming from me, who doesn't think they can win. That's a little harsh. Nobody else on the court? I don't agree with that assessment, but keep going.
Well, okay, fair enough. That might be harsh, but I guess my frustration is that I've watched, Anunoby the last two games, probably have the best shooting games I've seen him have in a while. Mm-hmm. And he looked pretty good. Yeah. But Mikal Bridges and Cat were zeros. Like defensively, Mikal looked okay, but he can't shoot. Watching him shoot is painful. So it's just, I don't know what the option is. And then when when Josh Hart's not playing well, the Knicks struggle. So yeah. I guess the overall point that you're making, and I think it's a good one, which is, does this force Thibodeau to change? Which it seems like he's incapable of doing. Yeah. I hope so, and that's the only hope the Knicks have to compete at the level they need to beat these top-tier teams.
I got you.
Thank you for the call, Eric. Appreciate you checking in. Look, I still just think it's unknown about what this Knicks team is going to be. You need to see it. For me, in the postseason, I've been saying that all season long. New pieces here. It's not what happened last year. I want to see this team be tested. Obviously, you have to be discouraged by what you've seen from them against the better teams in the league. 0-7, against the Cavs, the Celtics, the Thunder. Again, last night, like my test to me was not about whether they go 4-1 necessarily on this road trip.
Me too.
But I want to see them beat the Lakers or the Warriors, if not both. Already 0-1, and now Brunson gets hurt. I want to see what Bridges can do with Brunson intact. It shouldn't take him getting hurt. I still think the sky's the limit for this group. I really do believe that.
No, I don't. Yeah, I really don't. I wish I don't. I just don't.
Look at everybody. See, there are other question marks, though, too, BT. The Cavs are unproven. So if the Cavs are having a good regular season, that's great. Are they going to have enough offensively to overcome other teams in a best-of-7 in the postseason when things get tighter? We don't know. The Celtics are proven they're dominant. The Thunder look more legit maybe than the Cavs even. I'm not trying to minimize the Cavs, but let's not make it like there aren't question marks either for the other top teams. And we're only talking about 3-4 teams that are even in the same conversation with the Knicks, as questionable and as discouraging as this has been. So I'm not giving up all hope. And I'd prefer to see everybody healthy together and see how it fits, as opposed to having to have somebody get a better run now or a bigger opportunity with Bridges, getting more opportunity without Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, more influence on the team, more confidence. Just play better. I mean, we don't need to overthink it. Be a dog. I mean, don't be a little poodle. Honestly, sack up. You said that before.
Yeah.
Bridges simply has to be tougher, and Bridges simply has to be better. And listen, there's two things at play here in relation to the coach. Number one, Tom Thibodeau must be willing to tweak and alter and do some changes, as I'm submitting this morning. Like in his mind, he's got to say, okay, without Brunson for who knows how long, I've got to do this. And then if he comes to that decision, and I think that he will, because I think he's a smart guy and a good coach, now he's got to successfully implement those. It's one thing to understand you got to do it, and then you've got to implement it to the team. That's what I'm not sure about.
Mike is in Brick. What's up, Mike?
Hey, Mike.
What's going on, guys? I don't want it to be a bad day for Bridges, but my opinion is, right in between you guys. I lean closer to Sal on the optimistic view. I hear you guys on role players stepping up when he's out, but the truth is when things are getting tight in playoff time, I don't think it's going to continue. Bridges disappears in big games, hanging Brunson out to dry. The bottom line is he's soft. I just don't think he's a Knick. Going against lesser defenders every night in the backcourt, and all he can do is hit a corner three, guys. That's the easiest thing to do in the NBA is hit a corner three.
But this is not who he was. This is not who he was before the Knicks got him. You might be right, Mike, in that he's soft. And I don't like soft is really a degrading word
that's
to
strong.
say.
I'm not saying
but
soft.
I mean in the way of like being trepid in the way that he is entering a new team that was here before he got here. I know Towns is new as well, but Towns got acclimated pretty quickly, and maybe Bridges just doesn't have that in him where he's more feeling his way as opposed to being that alpha that's coming into the room and taking over right away. Even for an alpha, sometimes that can be hard to do.
Yes.
You don't want to step on anybody's toes, and thank you for the call, Mike. You know,
like LeBron and Wade in year one.
I was actually going to say with you and I, honestly, like if you want to break it down like that. Like,
yeah.
Remember, I'm coming in as, in my mind, like an alpha. I've been doing this show my whole life the way that I want to do it. But I'm coming into an area that you were here, Hoff was here, Doe was here. I'm the new part in that show. Now I got to be myself no matter what, but I also come in, I'm not coming in guns a-blazing. Like, there was a feeling out process.
No question.
And all that stuff. And it takes time to really learn each other and get a feel. You know what I'm saying?
I totally agree with that.
To fully be myself. So at times you're that, and at times you're not, and you get it. So maybe Bridges is just going through that process early on. But it's on him to figure it out. Just like it's on me to figure it out. I can't just say, wow, I'm coming into your house and I'm not going to be myself.
Yeah,
no.
You gotta be you.
He's got to be him. Now, it's a little different in that there's one ball to go around.
Well, that's yes.
Yeah, but still, BT, we have not seen who Mikal Bridges truly is, or at least was with the Nets, with the Knicks, and that's a problem.
I totally agree. I think the comparison, the analysis, whether it's us or any other news show, but you and I definitely have strong personalities. So
Right.
I agree. But I don't know if he came to the Knicks as an alpha. As a matter of fact, I would say he didn't. There are a lot of teams that are bad in the NBA. Somebody's got to put up 20. Now, he was fairly efficient.
But there were times
even more than 20.
Now, I didn't watch him every night the way Evan did.
Good player.
And Evan did say the other day, like, he's a different player. Bridges is a different player. This is the day that after we just talked about his free throw disparity.
Yep.
So clearly, even if you didn't watch him, you could look at the numbers and say he's a different player. But I also remember the times that I did watch him with the Nets. There were spurts of alpha because I remember saying to myself, wow, this guy's a player. Like, maybe not every night he wasn't like that. Maybe he's not as alpha as some others. But Bridges, to me, showed potential to be a stud, and he's been nothing close to that with the Knicks.
Well, there's a reason why I was excited with the trade.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, I didn't see every second at Villanova. I didn't see every second with the Suns. I didn't see every second with the Nets. I've seen basically every second with the Knicks, and I don't really love what I'm seeing. But there was a reason most of us were like, boom, that's a championship move. You got OG, you got Bridges, 40% from the corner, both premier defenders. Brunson, a killer, Cat, 7'1", sick range, really good stud. Josh Hart, the energy, like bring McBride off the bench. I was very excited for Bridges. He has not been what I thought. Now, to my point here, the absence of, and you're right, it shouldn't have taken something like this. I'd like to see him assert himself a little bit more. It's not like Brunson saying, no, I'm not going to let you be you. It's more Bridges not being willing or able, or a combination of both, to take the step forward on his own volition.
Right.
Now, without Brunson, he's going to be required to do that.
To.
And if he does it successfully, Sal, and then Brunson comes back, I'm telling you, Jalen Brunson is not the kind of guy who's going to say, I'm not getting enough shots. Not enough shine for me. He's going to say, that's the Mikal Bridges I know. Now we can win a championship.
Right, and have him be a true weapon. All right, plenty more on the Knicks. And then Hoff was telling me, BT, during the open there, that I guess there's some Juan Soto info that we can get to when we come back. Something new on Soto. I have not seen this yet. Hoff was referencing an interview, so we'll have some Juan Soto info. As nothing like injury related or anything like that. I guess Soto did an interview and had some interesting things to say, so we could have fun with some of those comments as well. 888-808-1019, BT and Sal on the Fan.